In today's episode, I'm going to be giving my thoughts on this 2022 release of Tom Ford's Noir Extreme Parfum, which is a follow-up to the original EDP version from 2015. It's actually one of my favourite Tom Ford fragrances. And I'd say, in fact, this is probably one of my top 20 favourite fragrances of all time from any brand. It's an absolutely stunning fragrance, so this one has got a lot to live up to, and it's got its work cut out if it's going to compete with its older brother. But to find out how it compares and whether it's actually worth the eyebrow-raising £165 price tag, stay tuned to this episode of Mags Frags. Yes, hello again everybody, and thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode of Mags Frags. My name's Paul, and yes, you definitely did hear me correctly in the intro. This designer fragrance will set you back a whopping £165 for a 100ml bottle size, which is in the entry-level niche fragrance price band. You can pick up the EDP version now for around £110 if you shop around, so at over £50 more for the same size bottle. I'd say this Parfum version needs to be significantly better quality to kind of justify the price hike. It does also come in a 50ml bottle size, but that's priced at £120, so you are better off paying the extra £45 for double the size if you can kind of stretch your budget to the bigger size bottle. Yeah, so into the presentation, and the fragrance comes in a metallic gold cardboard box with slim black pinstripes all the way around it. On the front is the name of the house, the name of the fragrance, and also the size and concentration. At the top, there's the Tom Ford logo, and around the sides we've got a T and an F. Around the back there's a list of all the chemical ingredients, and at the bottom is your barcode and your batch code, which is B52 22 150 on this particular formulation. The bottle's a little bit more bling than what you find on the EDP version, and it comes in this all gold metallic finish with black branding. Again, we've got all the same detailing on the bottle that's on the box, with the brand name of the fragrance and also the T and the F letters around the sides, which are embossed into the sides. And also we've got another Tom Ford logo that's embossed into the top of the cap. Both the box and the bottle are huge fingerprint collectors on this one, so it does start to look a little bit grubby once you've handled it a couple of times. The cap is a lightweight plastic click-on cap, and again the atomizer is gold with a decent spray distribution. And overall, I'd say the presentation on this is okay, but I think I slightly prefer like the presentation and the colourway of the EDP version. This all gold colourway is a little bit tacky in my opinion, and I also like to be able to see like the levels of the juice. So I do prefer transparent glass fragrance bottles rather than these completely opaque style ones. Okay, so the top notes in this one are cardamom, ginger, mandarin orange, neroli and citruses. In the heart we've got kulfi, orange blossom, Bulgarian rose and jasmine. And the base notes in this one are vanilla, leather, suede, amber, guaiac wood, tonka bean and cedar. Okay, so this one has a noticeable difference compared to its predecessor, especially in the opening. And the first thing that you're going to pick up on with this one is how it's been spiced up with the inclusion of the ginger note and also a more prominent cardamom note. It's perhaps not quite as spicy as what you'd get in Spice Bomb Extreme from Viktor and Rolf, but it's definitely got more of a peppery zing to it than the EDP version. It also amps up the amber, and straight away you are going to notice how this one's more dark and intense smelling. The rose and the other florals found in the EDP have been dialed back, and now we have the inclusion of leather, suede and tonka beans, which bring a more rugged and masculine smelling backbone to the scent. It's really weird because when I first tried this one out, I had no idea what was in the note breakdown, and I would have sworn that they'd included like a whiskey note or like a brandy note, because there's a definite booziness to the opening that I can pick up on. And there's also like a smoky tobacco note in the background also, but it must be just all the other notes blending together and kind of giving you the impression of the inclusion of like boozy and smoky accords, because there's neither tobacco or any alcoholic notes listed in the official blurb of this one. It's not quite as sweet and smooth as the EDP, and this one has more of an edgy attitude to it. I suppose it's a bit more complex as well, and for the first few minutes it does remind me a little bit of Killian's Angel Share, so if you are familiar with how that one smells, you'll get kind of an idea as to what to expect from this one. But the more it dries down, the more it starts to resemble the DNA of the original version, and they both share the notes of kulfi, vanilla rose and amber, so the far dry downs of both of these are quite similar, and both are like velvety smooth, but the Parfum version always seems to be like one step ahead in terms of its intensity. This is a dynamic and sexy smelling fragrance with a high-end luxurious quality to it and a really powerful scent profile. Yeah, this has all the attributes to be the perfect all-round autumn and winter fragrance. It's got plenty of darkness and depth in the base, with also a creamy thickness, and it's the combination of the amber and the leather and the vanilla that bring a warm and cosy feel to the base of the scent. So it'd be fine to wear for like a chilled night or maybe even for a date night. But then there's also the contrasting booziness and also the spicy notes in the opening that last through into the dry down, and these notes will definitely conjure up thoughts of like wild party nights, so this is also going to make for a great clubbing scent or to wear for this year's upcoming Works Christmas party. It is quite versatile, but it's one that I'd be more inclined to wear dressed up in the evenings rather than to wear it as a casual daytime fragrance or as a work scent. It's a very sexy and seductive fragrance with a masculine and a grown-up sophisticated character, so I'd say it's going to be probably more suited to men over the age of 25. The performance on this is really good, but it's not so strong that it ever becomes too overbearing. It outperforms the EDP version in both projection and longevity, and I've done direct side-by-side comparisons a few times now on the back of each hand, and this Parfum version wins quite comfortably each time. You'll get 7 to 8 hours out of it, and maybe a bit more on clothes with a fairly decent projection, but it's not what I'd call a beast mode high-end designer fragrance at this price point. At £165 I would have expected kind of a little bit more for it, somewhere near what you'd get with the likes of Dior Sauvage Elixir levels, but the Dior is way more potent than this one. However, this is no slouch, and it will get you plenty of compliments, and it does leave a decent enough scent trail. Yeah, when I first saw that Tom Ford were releasing a Noir Extreme Flanker, I was a bit sceptical, and I wondered how they'd be able to improve on what was already an absolutely brilliant smelling fragrance. But somehow they've managed to pull it out of the bag, and this one is an absolute masterpiece of perfumery. However, I would say that if you already own the EDP version, it might not be worth paying the £165 and owning both of these unless you're like a serious collector, because although there is a difference between the two, it's not significant enough to justify the hefty price point. But if you don't own a bottle of the EDP, I'd say pay the extra £50 and pick up this Parfum version. It's a superb, ultra cool signature scent for the cooler months of the year, and for that reason it gets a solid and respectable 9 out of 10 from me. Yeah, so once again, that's about it for today's Scent of the Day, but don't forget, coming up over the next few days, I will be bringing you an exclusive first look at a really exciting brand new niche fragrance that I've been waiting patiently now to get my nose on for a few weeks, but it's currently in transit and it's on its way from France, and it should be here this week sometime, so keep your eyes peeled for when I upload that one, because hopefully it's going to be a good one, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, I will be talking about another couple of fragrances that I've recently picked up, as well as another couple of clone fragrance hauls from the Perfume Parlour and also KDJ inspired. So if you don't want to miss any of my future uploads, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get a notification whenever I post up a new video. Also, if you have found today's review useful, I would really appreciate if you could be so kind as to just give it a cheeky like, and that way the YouTube algorithm thinks I'm doing a fairly good job and keeping people entertained. So muchas gracias. It's also great to hear your opinions, your thoughts and your critiques on all of the fragrances that feature throughout the channel, so keep your comments coming down in the comments section. So once again, thank you very much once again for tuning into this latest episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye bye for now.